I love living in Cocoa Beach, and I know this beach town isn't for everyone. Yes, the beach is wonderful, and there's going to be some things that you love about Cocoa Beach, but this video are talking about the things that you're probably going to hate. So stick around. My name's Eric Larkin, and I'm a real estate agent here in Cocoa Beach. And when I'm not making videos like this one, I'm helping people buy and sell real estate. So if you have plans of making a move, let me know how I can help. Highway A1A is the only road that runs all the way through Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach. And if A1A gets jammed up, traffic is going to back up quickly. Now, we're not talking bad traffic like you're used to seeing in these big cities where you have 8 lanes in each direction. A1A only has 2 lanes going north and 2 lanes going south. And depending on where you're at, it's hard to get around when things are jammed up. Traffic gets heavy here during our snowbird and spring break season, which is basically January through April. The population in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral seems to peak around Easter weekend when our sleepy little beach town goes from 22,000 to over 100,000 in population, and that's a lot of cars on A1A. Throughout the year, traffic can be heavy along A1A when we have nice weather on a weekend, whether there's an event going on like a surf contest or the boat races. A1A can become gridlocked when there is a Falcon Heavy launch and landing, or there happens to be a crude launch that's happening. Surfing Santa's is always a big draw to downtown, causing gridlock, and also the Cocoa Beach Air Show shuts down A1A. Navigating the heavy beach traffic on a weekend, it really depends upon the time of day. Earlier in the morning up until mid-afternoon, people are coming into town, so southbound A1A is kind of jammed up. And then in the afternoons, as people are leaving the beach, northbound definitely gets jammed up too. So plan accordingly on these weekends. The parking in Cocoa Beach, it is tight. We've got the Cocoa Beach Pier, we've got the 520 area, and also downtown. These are big draws on the weekends, and even during the week, it's going to be expensive to park there. The meter parking is $5 an hour. Parking at the pier starts at $20 depending on the day and the event. And there's also private lots throughout the city that could cost anywhere from $20 to $50, again, depending on what's happening in the area. And know this, the Cocoa Beach Police Department, they are quick to hand out tickets if you do not feed the meter or if you park in a no parking area. I like live music, and there are some bars and restaurants in downtown that do offer some live music. You've got Coconuts, The Beach Shack, Hunker Down, Salty Sister, maybe Jonathan Pub, just to name a few. They'll either have an acoustic set or maybe on the weekend night, there'll be a band there with some amplifiers to kind of get a little louder. Recently in downtown Cocoa Beach, Area 142 opened up and they're loud. They have a smaller stage that's always set up, and during the week you might have some type of music that's happening. But then when they bring out the big stage, that's when they're also bringing in some big national acts or some cover bands that cover Linkin Park, Chili Peppers, Iron Maiden, and they crank out the tunes when they're doing that. It's concert levels in an outdoor setting in downtown Cocoa Beach, and that music travels far. The local residents, they love the vibrant activity that happens downtown, but with the music that's coming from Area 142, they just haven't been happy. Since we are a beach town, a destination town, we have a lot of pedestrian activity that's happening up and down A1A and also trying to cross the street. We've got pedestrians, we got folks on bikes, we've got skateboarders. Sometimes they'll cross at the corner, or they'll wait for the light, or they'll use the new pedestrian crosswalks, but they're great. But most of the time they cross wherever and whenever they want. So you as a driver through Cocoa Beach, you need to be aware of the pedestrians, the bikes, and the skateboarders. Added to the mix of pedestrian traffic you need to keep an eye on are e-bikes. Sure, they're fun to ride, and sure, they go awful quick, but if you're driving, they're awful hard to see. The biggest obstacle I see keeping an eye on e-bikes is when you're in South Cocoa Beach where A1A has split. You're looking left to see the traffic coming one way. You might look to the right just to confirm there's no bikes or pedestrians from that direction, and as you confirm traffic before you pull out, these e-bikes come up on you quickly, and usually they're going in the opposite flow of traffic. So be careful as you're pulling out on A1A. Besides looking for the pedestrian bikers, look for these fast-moving e-bikes too, because you don't want to hit one. Shopping options in Cocoa Beach are kind of limited. Yes, we have a nice selection of grocery stores. We got 2 Publixes and a Winn-Dixie. Yes, we've got a couple specialty shops with Coastal Produce and Sunseed Co-op. We even have an Ace Hardware in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. But if you're looking for a big box store, Walmart, Target, Lowe's, or Home Depot, you're going to have to cross over to Merritt Island or the mainland to find them. Yes, there's a Lowe's and Walmart south in Indian Harbor Beach too. But if you're looking for the mall style shopping, if you're a Maxxinista or you're looking for home goods or that mall like setting, you definitely have to leave the Cocoa Beach area by either going over to Merritt Island, travel to the Vieira Avenues or south to the Melbourne Mall, or even make a trek to one of the many malls that are in the Orlando area, but you're not going to find that type of shopping here in Cocoa Beach. Anybody I talk to that's moving into our area that haven't lived on the coastline always ask about hurricanes, and they're always concerned about what to do in a hurricane, especially if you're living in Cocoa Beach and the Barrier Island. Just know this, if the storm is heading our way, the governor more than likely is going to call for a mandatory evacuation of all the Barrier Islands. Anything east of US 1, they're going to recommend that you leave. Just know that they're not going to force you to leave. It's just recommended during a mandatory evacuation for your safety and well-being to get off of our Barrier Island. If you do decide to stay, know that if an emergency happens and you have to call 911, if the storm's approaching and it's unsafe conditions, they're not going to come to you until after the storm passes. Something that usually happens with hurricanes as well, your electric's going to go out. Sometimes it's a flicker and flash, sometimes it's for a couple hours. The worst I've seen it was a couple of weeks without electricity here in Cocoa Beach. Really, it just depends on the storm, the intensity, and the direction that it's coming from on what kind of conditions you're going to have during a hurricane here in the Cocoa Beach area. Homeowners insurance in Florida has gotten absurd, especially in the Barrier Islands like Cocoa Beach, Florida. Last couple of years, we've had hurricanes hit the state of Florida, causing an increase in claims and the payout for damages by these insurance companies. We've also had several hailstorms come across the state. Again, an increase in claims and damages, a lot of new roofs being put on because of this. These payouts have caused several insurance companies to go bankrupt. We're seeing insurance companies stop writing in the state of Florida. This past July, Farmers has decided to stop writing policies in Florida altogether. Any home in the state of Florida that's looking to get insurance coverage that's over 30 years old are going to need to have a 4-point inspection in order to get an insurance quote. The 4 points are the roof, electric, plumbing, and air conditioner. And since the average home in Cocoa Beach was built in 1970 or earlier, you're definitely going to need a 4-point in order to get any type of coverage quotes. Because of this, there's limited options of getting insurance coverage if you are in Cocoa Beach. Really, the most popular alternative right now for insurance is the state-run Citizens Insurance Program. The kicker about going with Citizens is a recent change where by 2027, if you have Citizens as your provider, whether you're in a flood zone or not, it's going to be required that you get flood insurance. I hope it's not a surprise. Florida's in the south. Cocoa Beach experiences subtropical climate. Summertime gets exceptionally hot, especially the months of August and September. It's not uncommon to see temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. Combine that with the higher humidities in the mid 80% or higher range, and this heat can be dangerous. Up north, you have the wind chill factor when it gets below a certain temperature. Here in Florida, we look at the real field temperature, which is a combination of the actual temperature and humidity to give us a number. August's real field temperature is often over 100 degrees, and you do not get a relief really overnight either. It stays very hot here during August and September in Florida. The only real break we get during the summer would be the occasional thunderstorms, which the temperature drop can be refreshing. You'll learn with your vehicle, if you're at the mall or the store, that it's better to park in a shady spot far away than up close in the direct sun. I also highly recommend get some type of heat shield covering for your windshield to help lower the interior temperature of your car. Cocoa Beach, we are a destination town and known for the transient population. We've got the snowbirds, we've got the spring breakers, we have the summertime vacationers, actually year-round vacationers too. The beaches also attract the day trippers who want to come downtown and just party. Downtown Cocoa Beach has a lot of bars. There are 3 strip clubs in Cocoa Beach. There are quite a few CBD dispensaries. We have vape shops. We have tattoo shops downtown and throughout the city. We have a lot of hotels throughout Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. You might not be aware, but in Cocoa Beach, your single-family home can be used daily rentals. So we have a lot of Airbnb or vacation rental type properties. More than likely, where you're looking to buy a home, there's several Airbnbs on the street, might be right next door. Most of us year-round residents are not happy having so many Airbnb-type properties in the city of Cocoa Beach. Unfortunately, the state has legislation in place that prevents cities from making any changes to the short-term rentals that are allowed in the city. What Cocoa Beach has done is require that any Airbnb-type property is licensed and registered with the city. They're requiring certain inspections to be made. And of course, there's costs for all this to happen. If any of their guests happen to be too loud and there's complaints from the residents nearby, the homeowners could be fined for having the excessive noise from their Airbnb guests. So is Cocoa Beach perfect? No, but really, what town really is? I'm a long-time Cocoa Beach resident, and I love being this close to the ocean. I love being surrounded by water. I love being able to view rockets launch from my backyard, and I also love the variety of mom and pop restaurants that are here throughout the city. And except for August and September, I think we have the best weather here in the Cocoa Beach area. I mean, really, you're living where people dream about going on vacation, and that is a good thing. Let me know if you have any questions about moving to Cocoa Beach or somewhere here on the Space Coast. You can call me, you can text me, you can comment below. If you're on any of these social media sites, you can find me there and send me a direct message. However you like to communicate, I am great with. My name's Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next show.